Time now here on Radio 2 for Waggoners Walk. Sophie Richmond makes a rare visit to the Waggoners.
Don't I know you from somewhere, miss?
Rats. I thought this was the one place I could slip into unnoticed.
Not with Edwards the eagle-eyed on duty. Or, in your case, eager-eyed.
Behave.
Oh, I don't do anything else these days. Doesn't improve life much.
Oh, not you as well.
What?
I came across here to get away from Rob and Dickon in all their misery.
What's the matter with them?
Can I have a drink before I go into
Oh,
details?
sorry. Yeah, well, what's it to be?
White wine, please. Dry.
Only sort we've got, Sophie.
Oh.
Donald keeps threatening to widen the selection, but I'll believe that when I see it. There you go.
Ah, thanks. And, here's almost the last of this week's money.
Yeah.
Good job I get paid at prize tonight.
The change.
Thanks.
And now, what's the gossip from the upper regions in number one?
Nothing very exciting. They've both been deserted for the time being by the loves of their lives. So they met up for a couple of drinks at lunchtime.
Only a couple.
That was the original idea.
But one thing led to another.
I don't think I need to tell you the whole story.
No, it does sound a bit familiar. Oh, I didn't think Dickon was the type to go drowning his sword.
Well, he doesn't usually. Looks like he'll be paying for it in more ways than one, though. He didn't make it back to the office.
That'll give Morris something to moan about.
They already had a row in the pub. Dickon went over to Morris and demanded compassionate leave for the rest of the day.
Morris doesn't know a lot about compassion. I suppose he was there with Shirley.
I'm not sure.
Like, it's all right, Sophie. I know they often spend their lunchtime together.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to tell you my troubles. Now you're here, I want you to stay.
Well, I have to go to work soon.
Oh, it's not fair. We hardly ever see you in the Waggoners. Unlike some.
Who do you mean?
Coming up behind you now.
Oh. Hello, Arthur.
Good evening, Miss Richmond. I'm surprised to see you here.
Huh?
No social engagements this evening.
Afraid not.
Nor adventures into the unknown.
No, just boring old work. Well, one can't have adventures every day, can one?
The man from Mars seems to have gone into hiding. No sightings reported for a few days now.
Oh, no doubt he's gone back into where he came from. Thin air.
There was definitely something there, Arthur. Though I'm pretty sure it was an animal of some sort.
Perhaps it was an abominable snowman.
There isn't any snow.
That could be just one more bizarre aspect of the case. Once the imagination starts to run riot.
Could we just change the subject, please?
All right. What are you drinking, Mr. Tyson?
A glass of port, if you please.
Right.
A light hunting port, if you have one. And perhaps I can get you something, Miss Richmond, by way of apology for overstepping the mark.
Well, thanks for the thought, but I must be going back to the restaurant in a minute.
You'll be eating our stodge of the day as usual, will you, Mr. Tyson?
Oh, dear, do I have to?
But he's forcing you.
I'm still recovering from whatever I ate here at lunchtime.
Didn't it tell you on the menu what it was?
Well, it said potluck pie, which probably means Jessie herself didn't know what she was putting into it. Still, maybe she'll have found her glasses for tonight's offering, you never know.
I don't think I dare take the risk. There are more unknown things in Mrs. Brewer's cooking than there are wandering round Hampstead Heath.
I think it's a wonderful idea, Peter. You'll get paid for the sort of work you've already been doing for Mr. Tully.
Oh, darling, it's not that easy. I'll have to be at the boatyard several hours a day. I mean, what if one of the girls is ill? What happens in the school holidays?
Oh, I'm sure we can organise something. Did Brad mention how much you'd be getting?
About £80 a week.
Well, so in the holidays we could pay somebody to mind the children.
Yes, perhaps.
What is it, darling? I'd have expected you to jump at the idea.
I've been keeping my enthusiasm under tight control.
But why?
Well, because of the way we've organised our lives. Against all the pressures and snide comments from outside, we're firmly settled with you having the career and me looking after the home. Now, I don't want to risk...
Rocking the boat?
Not if I can help it.
We've managed the same sort of thing before, you know. When you were full-time at Abercrombie's, I coped with part-time work at the Herald.
Well, that's true.
And...
What?
I honestly think you need an interest outside the family. Something more than just a hobby. I know it'll cause problems from time to time, but I don't see why you should have an exclusively domestic life any more than a woman should.
In that case, when I see Brad tomorrow, I'll tell him it's a deal.
Smashing. You don't think that's Brad now, do you?
I doubt it. I'm supposed to be thinking it over carefully. Oh, hello, Father. Come in.
I don't wish to intrude.
You're doing no such thing.
Good evening, Elizabeth.
Hello, Arthur. Nice to see you.
It is?
Well, certainly. You haven't been dropping in nearly enough lately.
After my long stay, I thought perhaps you would appreciate my absence for a while.
Oh, what rubbish. Anyway, you're just in time for supper.
Am I?
It'll stretch, won't it, Peter?
Easily.
In that case, I feel bound to accept the invitation.
Good.
Indeed, to be quite frank, I desperately need a decent meal.
Well, I hope my cooking comes up to scratch.
Compared to the efforts of Mrs. Brewer at the Waggoners, it'll seem like cordon bleu, I'm sure. She's been trying to poison me, you know.
Good heavens, why?
Well, probably because I once suspected her of harbouring marital intentions towards George Underdown.
She sounds like a dangerous woman to cross.
Well, you're safe with us, Father. So would you like a sherry to start with? We have something to celebrate.
What is that?
I've been offered what you would call a real job.
Oh, you still up then, sure. There was me sneaking in as quiet as a mouse.
I meant to have an early night, but somehow I got stuck sitting here.
Sitting, thinking?
Yeah, except for the times when I was trying not to think. Busy night at the pub?
Oh, fairly. I gather the pub you were in at lunchtime was pretty lively.
Yeah. Oh, how did you know?
Oh, little bird.
Well, you were there
Oh,
then?
spying on you mean? You don't go into that sort of thing. Oh, Sophie told me all about Dickens' antics.
Right fool he was making of himself.
But Morris sorted him out.
Not very well. He's got other things on his mind.
Oh, how do you know? Look, I'm terrified to ask you straight out what's going on. I know you told me I was jumping to conclusions the other night, and I tried to believe I was getting it wrong, but sure...
You were half right, Cliff.
Oh, God.
I felt miserable about having to lie to you.
Oh, that makes me feel a hell of a lot
But I
better.
wanted to sort it all out before I told you everything.
Thanks a lot. I suppose you think of it as, what, letting me down gently? When I get hold of Morris Gill, I'll beat the living daylights out of him.
You'd be hitting him when he's down.
What?
When Dickon interrupted us in the pub, I just told Morris not to come round here again.
Hey, but...
Morris had got it into his head that there was something between us. I'm sure it was only because he was in a mess after Cressida.
Oh, terrific. We take pity on him, and that's his idea of gratitude.
Oh, I should have been more careful. Then he mightn't have taken kindness for something else.
Okay, but did anything happen?
He kissed me. Once. That's all.
And you let him?
Yes. But only because I was angry with you.
Oh, it had to be my fault in the end, didn't it?
No, Cliff.
But that's what you're saying?
I was feeling bitter because I thought you felt nothing for the baby. Well, I got that all wrong, didn't I?
Aye, it looks like it.
I love you, Cliff.
Oh, come here.
What are we going to do?
We'll muddle along, I expect, as usual.
Cliff, it will be together, won't it?
Better have be. Because I love you too, Shelley.
Here's your hold all, Jeremy.
Oh, thanks, Mummy.
I packed a change of clothes in case you fall in.
I won't fall in.
Best be on the safe side.
Now, what about your life jacket?
Oh, it's already down there.
Well, don't go leaving it at Gran's house.
I won't. He's stored on the boat anyway. Hey, where is Daddy? He should be here by now.
Patience.
How can I be patient? It's an adventure.
Like our trip to Cat's House will be.
I'm really looking forward to going through the locks.
You won't get him interested in Greek islands, Lynn. Not till this river trip is over.
No, I suppose not.
This'll be the furthest I've ever been in Skipper's boat.
Will it now?
But when it's been overhauled, I'll be able to help sail it back to Maidenhead again, won't I?
You'll have to wait and see if Brad asks you.
Oh, he must.
Oh, I expect he will, if you pull your weight.
I wish I was bigger.
You will be soon enough, the way you eat.
Is that Daddy now?
I doubt it, unless somebody's giving him a key.
Hello there.
Oh, hello, Bill.
Well, that's a fine greeting for a man who brings news.
What news?
You remember the thing that frightened the dog away on the heath?
The man from Mars?
Ah,
Please, Bill, his imagination's already been running riot.
I thought he'd like to know what it really was.
Oh, come on, you must tell me, Bill. I only almost saw it, but even so,
It turned out to be a proboscis monkey.
You what?
A proboscis monkey. Not quite the little green man folks were going on about, more sandy-coloured. But it does have a face that's very human-looking.
Oh, how did you make this great discovery?
Well, I was up on the heath this afternoon, came across a group of people who'd found it. It had been hidden in the undergrowth.
How did they capture it?
Well, they didn't have to, I'm afraid. It was dead.
Oh.
Looked like it had starved.
What was it doing there at all?
Someone must have had it as a pet.
But wouldn't they have reported it missing?
Well, they might have let it loose on purpose. Happens sometimes when people get hold of exotic pets they don't know how to handle.
Oh, how cruel.
Yeah.
I'd have looked after it.
Not here, you wouldn't. Enough trouble with you and Alexis on the premises.
Hey, we could have taught it pontoon. Can they do that sort of thing, Bill?
Why, more than likely.
Well, at least that's all the mysteries cleared up.
But what about the flying saucers?
Oh, well, if the creature wasn't from outer space, there was no need for it to have anything to land from, was there?
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Now what are you going to put over on us?
Well, it's only what I was told, like, by one of the blokes who found the monkey. But he was up there last night, and he saw these 3 shining spheres hovering above the trees.
They are, just what I've always thought. A lot of balls in the sky. Sorry.
I don't understand.
That's just as well.
That must be Daddy now.
Yes, I'll come with you to the car.
Right. Bye, Matt. Bye, Bill.
Bye now.
Bye, lad. And remember, keep the crew in good order.
You bet.
Hello, Peter.
Hello, Lynn. All ready, Jeremy?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you all about the monkey I nearly saw.
Good Lord.
It's a strange tale indeed.
I can hardly wait.
Bye, Mummy. See you tomorrow.
Goodbye, darling. And have a smashing time, both of you.
Can I come in?
Of course, Sophie. I just made some tea and I was wondering whether to pop up and invite you to join me.
Oh, that's nice of you, George.
If you'd like to sit down.
Oh, thanks. I looked in because Bill Ashton phoned just now. Some people found our creature up on the heath.
Oh?
It was some sort of monkey, but unfortunately it died.
Oh, dear.
But at least we weren't imagining things.
Well, that's a relief. I must tell Arthur. Sometime. Bill Ashton.
That's right.
He's the chap you used to go out with.
Yes, once upon a time. That's all over now. We're just friends.
Sorry, here's your tea.
Oh, thank you.
I'm in a bit of a daze. How are the lads upstairs?
Oh, Rob recovered quickly enough. He even turned up for work last night. Dickon is still suffering, but it's mostly from heartbreak.
It's definitely all over, is it?
Well, he seems to have convinced himself of it.
Oh, what a shame.
Trudy did give him quite a runaround.
Perhaps he'll find himself another young lady soon.
Yeah, with a bit of luck.
I've sometimes wondered if you and he aren't suited.
I don't think so.
I see. Sophie, I'm probably about to make a terrible fool of myself, but will you marry me?
Oh, sorry, I need to drop my cup.
I knew I shouldn't have asked.
I don't mind you asking at all.
You don't? But does that mean...
Well, I can't give you an answer right away. I'll need time to think about it.
That's all right, my dear. You have all the time in the world.
And our thanks to the Waggoners Walk cast, both present and past. The writers of the serial were Jill Hyam, Alan Downer, Peter Ling, Barbara Clegg, Margaret Simpson, and Terry James, who wrote this final week's episode. Waggoners Walk was produced by Anton Gill, who also directed the programme with Penny Lester. You can hear the final omnibus edition of Waggoners Walk at 5 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. But now it's back to much more music and Tom Brown.
Music just for you on Radio 2.
Now back to the BBC cuts and their effects. One of the casualties is Radio 2's long-running serial, Waggoners Walk. And this afternoon, listeners were able to hear the last episode of the show that for 11 years has depicted the turbulent life in a fictitious street in Hampstead, northwest London. Bob Simpson has been looking back over the programme's history and reports on its final moments.
Wags, as it's known in BBC memos, started in 1969 to replace the Dales. The Dales were fairly cosy. Waggoners Walk made every effort not to be. The writers have dealt with murder, rape, kidnapping, more than the character's fair share of traumas, as the producer puts it, and all in 2,828 episodes. But it had to end, and because of the writing and recording schedules, only 4 episodes were available to bring it to a close. Production office fantasies abounded. Could the UFOs sighted over the Heath be involved, or some other cataclysm? Moderation prevailed, though, and there just wasn't time for a realistic, neat ending, so Waggoners Walk just faded away. For those concerned by such things, the Martian on the Heath turned out to be a monkey, and we still aren't sure if Cliff and Shirley's marriage is all right. For the final scene, we return to number 1 Waggoners Walk, where it all started. Bank cashier George Underdown was joined for tea by Sophie Richmond, the waitress who's had so much man trouble.
Sophie, I'm probably about to make a terrible fool of myself, but will you marry me?
Oh, sorry, I need to drop my cup.
I knew I shouldn't have asked.
I don't mind you asking at all.
You don't? But does that mean...
Well, I can't give you an answer right away. I'll need time to think about it.
That's all right, my dear. You have all the time in the world.
And now here's the final omnibus edition of Waggoners Walk. George Underdown is unable to do justice to Sophie's cooking for an extraordinary reason. On that note, that's where we leave the story of Waggoners Walk. The writers of the serial were Jill Hyam, Alan Downer, Peter Ling, Barbara Clegg, Margaret Simpson, and Terry James, who wrote the final week's episodes. Waggoners Walk was produced by Anton Gill, who also directed the programme with Penny Lester. The omnibus editor was Jean Bauer, and the secretary was Janet Hoptroff. In the cast of Waggoners Walk, Peter Tyson was played by Basil Moss, Liz Tyson by Anne Morrish. Matt Pryor was played by Michael Spice, and Lynn Pryor by Judy Franklin. Dickon Firth, Martin Reed, Debbie Franks, Tara Soppett. Maurice Gill was played by Crawford Logan, Cressida Firth by Anne Clements, and Rob Pengelly by Michael Mundell. Cliff Edwards was played by Shone Probert. Shirley Edwards by Carol Boyd. George Underdown by Alan Dudley. Arthur Tyson, Gerald Cross. Sophie Richmond by Glynis Brooks, Carol Warburton, Sarah Clee, and Milton Monk by Harry Taub. Alexis was played by Tony McEwen, Zoe Fennell by Elizabeth Ryder, and Jeremy Tyson by Jill Lidston. Joan Fulbright was played by Janet Burnell, and Brad Fulbright by Ramsey Williams.